Hello. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Blue Barbie. What's the qualifications to join the live? Easy. This is Late Nights, Allison. Easy. The qualifications to join the live is be based. You got to be cool. You got to be cool, daddy-o. You know, this is this is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion. This is a conversation about the topic on the background. This is a community conversation, so any and everyone is welcome as long as you're interested in adding to said community conversation. We're going to get started here in just a moment. So if you guys don't mind, tap screen, share the live, send your daily heart. Me, it's only one corner. Will boost live, push us out to the FYP. Hello, Neb. How are we? How's everybody doing this evening? How your mama now? Did y'all tell your auntie I said hi? Did anybody get a chance to tell the auntie I said hi? Vash, did you tell your auntie now that I said hi? Tiffany, what about you? Tiffany, did you tell your mama now I said hello? What up, Darren? Really? Really, Sarah? Well, we here. I was great until your whistling woke me up my... Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I like to whistle. Whistle while you twerk. Go ahead and start and... Let me stop. Maybe we should not. Maybe we should not. Yin yang in the thing. Don't mind me, people. Don't mind me. I am okay. Why you low-key sound like, oh yeah, because I practiced that for a long time. Yeah, I feel good. Even like from earlier, I felt better. I was disappointed in people. That was it. But I feel good. How are you guys? Hey guys, can we knock out the daily gift goals, the little pink heart puffs? Can we please? Can we please knock out the pink heart puffs? Tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things so that TikTok know we in the building. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. What's your last video, J Hobbs? What you got? Apparently, Cube has no oil. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have any anytime soon, too. I mean, sometime soon as well. So, you know, there's literally that. Oh, guys, I got a bunch of stuff. Me and management open up stuff from the P.O. box. Hey, W's in the chat for y'all. Men doing men-ish. I got to check that out. Me and management, we got a bunch of cool shit to the P.O. box. Ooh, excuse me, language. We got a bunch of cool stuff to the P.O. box. Ash, I'm good. How are you? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you don't mind, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. Can we knock out the pink heart puffs? Please. This is Late Nights with Santana. And if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and hop in the request. This is night 4. This is the last night of this conversation. So if you have not had an opportunity to join the conversation, this is your chance. So make sure that you actually join. With that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing going.
Yeah. This ain't your regular panel, nah, we speak the truth. Late Nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching, better keep it clean. Let's go! Late Nights truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, be mindful. No screaming, just dreams and the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal.
Late nights.
Santana, yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is the purpose zone. Santana, hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah.
Late nights with Santana.
You already knew.
Late nights with Santana.
Late nights, no static, no highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run a game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear, but you find us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics,
Hearts wide open,
no judgment.
just motion.
Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah.
Late nights with Santana.
You already knew.
Late nights with Santana.
Late nights, no static. Yeah. Mama Jones watching,
So keep it.
Ain't about flexing, this is the purpose zone. Santana, hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is the purpose zone. Santana, hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open, no judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah.
Late nights with Santana.
You already knew.
Late nights with Santana.
Late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights. Late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights.
Guys, welcome in. This is Late Night with Santana. This is night 4 of our panel discussion where we are talking about person to person, where's the humanity? We're breaking down a multitude of things that plague our community. Not the entire world, which it does. Not the United States, which it does, but specifically our community. And we've been going through those things. First and foremost, we're breaking down the isms. We're breaking down all the isms, and we have talked about the different racism, sexism, ableism. We've broke down phobias, homophobia, transphobia. We broke down all the hateful aspects, these systems that continue to perpetuate harms across so many marginalized communities. Now, that was the first step. The second step, we took a look at the language of inhumanity, the dehumanizing language that continues to be weaponized against these marginalized communities, and how that actually plays a role and impact people. We also talked about like why people think it's acceptable. There's a lot to that. Now, we moved into eye for an eye and we're all harmed. What does that mean? That means that even if you're not a part of a marginalized community, engaging in these type of hateful and harmful actions will absolutely harm you as well. That's been a whole thing. Last but not least, tonight is night 4, guys. Tonight is night 4, and you know what that means. Night 4, that means that we want solutions. We want solutions. And specifically, we want solutions from some of the people who have not only been here all week, but I want to hear from people that we haven't heard from. There's a lot of people that have been hanging out and listening and learning. And while I appreciate the heck out of all the people that have been listening and learning, guess what? The only way we're going to get this done is with you participating. And now, participation looks like a couple of different things. It looks like knocking out the pink card post, right? That'll push us out to the FYP. That'll get more people in here. That'll help boost the live. But it also means tapping the screen, getting the likes up. We should be at least at 25,000 likes already. At least at 25,000 likes. We also should share the live to our stories and our FYP. Stories and our FYP. Do all the things. So hop in the box if you're interested in joining the conversation. I'm going to start getting people here in just a moment. So go ahead and request up. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, If you want to actually join the conversation, guess what? All you have to do is click the link and you can get up here. You do not have to leave where you are. This is accessible for each and every one of you, no matter where you are tuning in from this evening. Now, before I start bringing people in, again, if you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and hop in that request. But before I start bringing people in, I kind of want to set the stage. Set the stage, right? When I talk about back to the future, I want to make sure that we take a moment to recognize the way that these systems have been perpetuated throughout the history of society, and how if we don't break these cycles, then we will continue to perpetuate these cycles, right? So we're going to take a look at a couple of different things. We're going to talk about how to address the lack of understanding within our communities, in our homes, and even within ourselves. We've been doing that a little bit. We've been doing that a little bit throughout the week, but I want specific actions. We're going to talk about educating ourselves and how to actively fight against these systems and these harmful terms. We're going to talk about direct steps that can be taken while also learning and expanding the support within our communities. That means we have to actually learn together, grow together, help each other. Got it? Got it? All right. And last but not least, we're going to make sure that we know how to break the cycles, or at least we're going to talk about how to break the cycles. We're going to talk about what we can do to break the cycles. So if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and hit that request button. We're going to start bringing people in here in a moment. Let me just reset the skiff goal again. Let me do the chili peppers. We're going to do 100 chili peppers. 100 chili peppers. All right. We're going to go ahead and start bringing people in. And as we bring people in, guys, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. And once we get you in here, I'll go through introductions and we will go from there. Caleb over on YouTube, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Give me half a second here, okay? I'll go ahead and get you set up over on TikTok. Give me half a second. I'll fix this. All right, Caleb, do you know how to mute yourself?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you, and then when I come to you, I'll be able to take you off mute, okay?
All right.
Perfect, thank you. 1 second. All right. Let's make this bigger. That's what she said. Perfect. All right, guys. If you don't mind, keep tapping the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. If you are someone that's interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion. This is something that's open and available to each and every person within our community. If you want to actually join the conversation, this is your time. This is your opportunity. Hop up here. All right, we're going to go ahead and start doing introductions, and then we'll go ahead and move forward. So first and foremost, hey, J Hops.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. J Hops, can you tell the people, are you a part of any marginalized communities, and if so, which ones?
Well, I would say being a woman would qualify as me being in a marginalized community, but I don't really feel that. Like, I know it is, but like when you're I don't know why I'm rating myself compared to quote unquote other marginalized communities, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I just realized that while I'm talking to you that
That was interesting. I wonder why you said it like that. Yeah.
I think honestly, it's because I participate in groups where there are marginalized people, and I feel like their marginalization, for lack of language, is much greater than mine.
Okay.
Wow,
okay.
I never really thought about it like that. Interesting. Thanks for that, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. J-Hops, really quickly. So we've been talking about different aspects of communities and systems and how they have been perpetuated and harm people throughout the week. Is there anything that you've learned about another marginalized community outside of your own that you're going to be taking with you?
You know, I think talking about it, I think we're talking about ableism specifically is, I learned that it doesn't necessarily need to be visual or something that we can name or something that we can even see. And just looking at a person across the room, you might not be able to tell what their specific ism is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what their disability is. And I think that's the biggest thing that, because I grew up, I know people say this all the time. I'm Gen X, right? So I grew up in the age where we learned that, or were taught that if you can't see the disability, then it must not be that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That ADHD is not a disability. And, and it can be just, I'm finding out in my big 53 years of age that I have undiagnosed ADHD, and it's actually debilitating sometimes.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people have a lack of understanding. I think this has been one of the biggest eye openers for a lot of people within the community, is dealing with people with disabilities, right? And how privileged we are from a lot of different positions, especially even those of us who may have things that people don't see, to your point. But it's also something that's been downplayed and pushed to the side. So that's a whole thing. But okay. Perfect. Give me a second here, J-Hops. Next, I'm just going to call you Mikey. Is that okay?
Are you talking about me, sir?
Yes, is it okay? Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, brother. You can call me Mikey.
All right, Mikey, are you a part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
Can you break down what you mean by marginalized?
Have you been in any of these panel discussions this week? Or have you listened in at all?
The reason why I'm up was to talk about the eye for an eye, all are harmed. I thought that's what it was for, brother.
But you haven't caught any of these discussions?
No, sir. I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw it. I thought it was an open debate. I know I've seen you before.
Oh, this isn't a debate. This is a panel discussion. We've been talking about different marginalized communities and how they are being affected with the systems that perpetuate harm. And how do we ensure that we're not causing harms ourselves while being better within our communities?
Marginalized meaning as far as like the LGBT and all those different groups of people?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. You're more than welcome to stay and learn. I don't think at this time this is the conversation for you, especially if you haven't been here for any of the actual discussion throughout the week and you don't know what marginalized communities are specifically. FYI, I'll say this again, these are not debates, guys. So if anyone is requesting thinking that we're debating, we're not debating. Drop out. We're not debating. Caleb, over on YouTube, I'm going to unmute you. Wait, where you go? Where are you? Here you are. There you go. Caleb, how are you?
Good. How's it going, bro?
Good. Caleb, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
I am a single Black father.
Okay. Caleb, I'm sure you've been here throughout the week. Is there anything that you've learned about any other marginalized communities that you're going to be taking with you?
Just making sure that I check the, misogyny.
Listen.
Yeah, yeah, and I would say I pretty much got over transphobia I had over my younger years. This is tolerance, and people just want to be people. Supreme Court decision with the trans athletes is an unfortunate one, just because just let the kids play. Leave them alone. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna put you back on mute, but I'll come back to you in just a few minutes. Okay.
All right, bet. Perfect.
Thank you. And let's get one more person up here since we had to drop the other person off the panel. TikTok. I'm just gonna call you TikTok Live. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you a part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
Yes, I am. I have a disability. I'm part of the Black community, and I'm in the LGBTQ.
Okay, perfect. And have you been able to learn anything about any other communities outside of your own that you're going to be taking with you this week?
Something I think about is like, I know you brought up the situation, like how many menus or how many restaurants around you have like Braille menus, like just little things like that I don't think about that could affect somebody's life. Like for instance, I walked into the bathroom at my school and there wasn't like a changing room. And I was like, what if I was a mother with a child? Like things like that, like just opens my eyes. And I'm blessed to be able to do certain things, but I just feel it so deep in my heart when I see that people cannot,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that more than anything, like I said, I think a lot of us take this for granted, not necessarily having, some people, if you don't actually have like a physical disability, you may be more inclined to take it for granted, but like the overarching premise that I love to get to is that understanding that there's so much that we can learn from each other and so many different ways that we can ensure that we're working together to protect each other. So that's awesome. All right, J-Hops, coming back to you, and I'm going to have you start off. All right. So we've talked about a couple of different things, right? And we talked about the harm that's perpetuated throughout different communities. The first thing I want to find out is within our community, right? Us here, right? The actual people that are in the chat day in, day out. There's often a lack of understanding of certain things that can be harmful to other communities. How do you think we can go about sharing this information within the communities to make sure that we're properly addressing it?
It's funny that you say that. I know we're talking about this live specifically, but this literal example happened in another live that I'm in with another community. I just recently learned that the term womanism, and I learned this from Ari and from Ty, W-R-A-W Ty, that womanism is for Black people by Black people. It is intersectionality, feminism for Black people by Black people, and I believe it was Alice Walker that coined the term. I was in a live today where we discussed patriarchy and misogyny and trying to unpack that with other women. And there was a white woman on the panel that said, since she started her womanist feminist journey, and I immediately in the chat was said, womanism isn't for white people. And I have a whole DM I'm about to send her after I have permission to DM her telling her where she can go to educate herself on that. From time to time, I see things like that happen. That was just a real life example that happened like 2 hours ago. So that was like a perfect question.
Mm-hmm.
But in this live specifically, there was, I think it was yesterday or day before, one of the days, somebody was saying in the chat, "Can you not read?" after telling somebody to not be ableist. And I said, well, that was ableism too. And they told me, don't be obtuse on purpose. And I said, hey, friend, I know what you mean, but it can still come across as ableism. Give yourself some grace while you're learning this. And then the whole attitude changed. They didn't seem like they were being defensive anymore. But there was a couple times, like even this morning, when white people were speaking during a black ass conversation. I'm quoting you. Oops, sorry, Mama Jones. A black behind conversation that I was telling them they shouldn't be speaking. This isn't a conversation for us. We shouldn't be commenting on what the caller was saying, or even what you had to say. And it was getting very annoying. And I kept repeating myself to several people. And at one point, Sam, I think it was Sam said something, or Kelbell said something to me. I said, they're lucky I'm not a mod, because I'd be putting them on timeout and making them do sentences. Because I mean, I have how many, and these are people we would consider friendlies in this community. And I don't know how many times you, me, other moderator, and I'm not a moderator, but moderators have said, don't speak on Black people's conversations. This has nothing to do with us. If it's Black people speaking and we're talking about misogyny, or we're talking about patriarchy, things like that, that's a little bit different. But when it was an FBA conversation that you were having this morning, that was not for us to be commenting on. I think we have to give grace, we have to educate, and then at some point they have to be blocked. Because they don't want to learn. That's my feeling.
Yeah, no, listen, and I think the fact that you actually brought up and just hit at the heart of the reason why this was so important for us to do this week. It's something that we have to make sure that we highlight. It's something that we have to make sure that we continue to push through, and it's something that we have to make sure that we build on. So perfect. Thank you so much, J-Hop. All right, TikTok Live. When can I call you? I don't feel right continue to call you TikTok Live.
No, that's fine. I'm Jalen. I was the one that sent you.
Jalen!
Yes, hello.
Hi, Jalen.
Hello.
Jalen. Okay. I want to follow up with you as far as what J-Hops was just talking about, right? Because I do think that one of the most important things that we can do, and I talk about this often, is police ourselves, right? We as a community should be able to have a call in with our community members and let them know, like, hey, like, that's not cool. We can't do that. You know, we don't do that. Jalen, what do you think we should do, or what do you think we could do if someone that we know is within our community that should know better, but they're not doing better?
Personally, I think it's really good to not only call them out in the moment to not have them continue the bad behavior, but just like kind of following up with, you know, how are they sorry, I can't get a word, like progressing that, like deconstructing that. There we go. Like, how are they deconstructing what they said and how that was offensive?
Do you hear that?
The background noise a little bit.
Why am I coming through two places now? What in the world was that? Speak one more time.
Hello?
I don't know why that just happened. Huh. Okay. All right. Sorry. Can you say the last part one more time? I apologize. That threw me off.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying that I think it's important to like call the person out while they're doing the harm, so that way, you know, even like in a comment section, you know, I think calling them out in front of the community is important, not to shame them in a way, but just to teach other people, you know, because like before I was in these spaces, I didn't know a lot of the things that I were doing were like ableist and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to call them out, but then I also think it's important to follow up and being like, hey, like, how are we doing? Like, and have you deconstructed what you said, and do you understand why? Because you can only type so much in TikTok comments, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Okay. All right. Give me a second, Jalen. Caleb, coming back to you. I can appreciate what you said, right? I know, like, as a Black man, we sometimes are slow to be willing to change and grow and adjust, especially when something seems, out of the quote unquote norm for us. But hearing you talk about the things that you like, where you come from to where you're moving to, and like the different ways that you change, that's a rarity, right? And that's not just within, the Black community, Black men as a whole or whatever, as period, right? So the question I have is, as a community member, and, like Jay Hops mentioned, we have to talk about our communities. And like Jalen said, we have to actually at times have these call-ins and try to directly speak to them. Not everybody's going to get the point, and not everybody's going to be willing to actually engage with being better for not only our community, but marginalized communities. If we get to the point of, let's say, people not being receptive, is there anything else that you think we should or could do? Or like, how should we handle the situations where if it's someone who wants to be a part of the community, but they claim they're going to be a part of the community, but they're not engaging with what our community is about? What do you think we should do?
Well, it just seems like it's a reminder of how the community is bigger than just us as the main character. It's kind of, you look like a picture, you're in the picture, you got to kind of step outside the frame in order to see how everything is going on, and just remind that, it's a community, but it's also like the entire point of us being here as people. If you're, what's the point of being here if we're not going to, pour into each other and make the world a better place for, people coming behind us like our ancestor did, so it's kind of just getting over the self-center of all of it and just getting outside of, outside the box, I guess, for a lack of a better term. But yeah, just not to center the self. Like, it ain't about you. It's about, just like what your hat says.
It's not all about you. Yeah. No, yeah. Listen, it's funny that you say that, right? Because I was actually talking to Kay yesterday, and we were talking about the community as a whole, right? And we were talking about, was it yesterday? Maybe it was today. Time is a social construct. But I was talking to Kay, and we were talking about the way that within our community, while we may engage with different people in different ways, the entire premise of a community is to build outward together. And I think you hit it like right on the head. We have to pour into each other. And I think that's one of the best things that we can do is remind people like, hey, I'm not saying this because I think that you're wrong, you're a bad person, or you just like doing wrong. I'm pouring into you. The reason why I'm saying like, hey, this is a thing, we shouldn't do that, is because I'm pouring into you to be a better person. I think that was beautifully said, Caleb. All right, Jay Hops, I want to come back around to you one more time. And guys, I know there's some people in the request. I'm going to try to get as many people in here as possible. So I'm going to start swapping people in and out. So if you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and hop in the request, and I will get the people that are in the request in here as quickly as possible. Also, listen, caught myself slipping, chat. Forgot to hit the intro. So I'm just going to take a moment to do it, because I feel kind of crappy that I didn't do it. So anyway, we're going to get back into the conversation here in just a moment. But before we do, I want to remind people that for the people on the panel, remember that we need to use TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means that we don't do any of the isms: racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia. We don't play that on the panel nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat, please do not use caps. Caps are for mods. It will draw my attention away from the panel into the chat. We want to make sure that we're able to have this conversation, especially this evening, where this is a last night, and this is something we're dealing with when it comes to how we better and strengthen our community. So please, please, please don't do that. Last but not least, I do need you guys to be active participants. If you're someone that wants to join the conversation, go ahead and request that. But if you're not going to join the conversation, then do a couple of things for me. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me, repost the live, share it to your stories, and it'll help push us out to the FYP. If we can keep knocking out the daily gift goal, that will continue to boost the live. Right now, it's to love you so much, and we only need 75 more of those. If we can knock that out, that would help. And if you enjoy late nights, if you enjoy what we do here, and you want to keep it going, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support late nights. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Speaking of YouTube, W's in the chat for Abby, who became a late night tuber over on YouTube. All right. Sorry, guys. I forgot to actually do that, but we're here. All right, J Hops, coming back to you, and then I'm going to swap you out after this. But J Hops, I think that we did a pretty decent job, at least setting the foundation as far as explaining the why behind the systems, the terminology, why we shouldn't do these things, why it continues to hurt people, why, right? But J-Hops, is there anything that you feel like we need to make sure that we have other people understands when it comes to any of these systems or dehumanizing terminologies that continue to harm marginalized communities? Any whys that we miss?
That's a really good question. I can't, other than like all the basic ones, I'm going to say, the ones that we already know, which is to be inclusive and to, you know, not ostracize anybody, all of those things. But I think that my question is, I don't know the whys, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to quantify that for you. I'm going to qualify that argument for you. Mm-hmm. When TikTok above me was talking about, you mentioned Braille. How many restaurants in your area have Braille menus? I actually used to own a restaurant here for 7 years. And my restaurant, I had food allergies that I've since figured out, and I'm fine. But so I catered my entire restaurant around food allergies. Mm. I didn't think about people who couldn't see and might need a Braille menu. I didn't think about the disabilities of other people that I didn't have. So I say that to say, I don't know what the whys are, because I don't think any of us know what all of them are until they come into this situation. So I think I even came full circle and answered the why is so that we don't do that. Mm-hmm. Like, we're focusing on what our little issues, you know, may or may not be, or, you know, I'm allergic to gluten, or I'm celiac, whatever the case may be. So I did this whole restaurant around other people, around allergies, because I know other people have allergies, but because I don't have sight issues, it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing, right? I think that we can always figure out the whys when it comes to us and what affects us. But understanding the whys within the rest of the community is super important, and making sure that we continue to share those, that's super important as well. I think that was absolutely amazing, J Hops. Now, before I drop you down, I do want to give you the floor. Anything else that you can think of that you want to bring up, talk about, or make sure the community knows?
Just continuing on this, what the topic is tonight, being in these communities has really helped me with, you know, how important it is just by humanizing people and using the preferred pronouns, right? Like I'm getting so ingrained in this in me. It's getting so ingrained in me that I was in a live earlier today. I was in some comments, and the person on the panel appeared and spoke as if they might be feminine presenting or femme presenting, and I referred to them in the comments as she, and then immediately I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what are your preferred pronouns?
Mm-hmm.
And the love that I got just for asking that, the preferred pronouns happen to be she, her, but the love that I got just for asking that really let that person, you know, be seen. But also my whole point is there is no such thing as you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think people that say that just don't want to learn. I have changed so much in the last 15 years, just with learning new things and the way of looking outside of myself. And I think we all need to do that. Look outside of other people and see other people for who they are. And calling somebody by their preferred pronouns is literally like the easiest thing on the planet you can do.
Yep.
And I just don't understand the pushback. It's really not a big deal. But just keep talking to each other, keep educating each other, and old dogs can learn new tricks. We're all capable of learning new things. If we really wanted to, we would.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, J Hops, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate you. And you're awesome. Thank you. All right, Jalen.
Yes, hello.
I know I've been talking a lot about like what I'm doing to try to better myself, right? The things that I'm trying to actively work on to better myself. I'm trying to read more, learn more, grow more. But even within our communities, we have to find ways to grow. So, Jalen, what's something that you plan on doing to actually make sure that you grow? And how are you going to share that with someone in our community to make sure they grow?
Yeah. Well, first, like I said earlier, I did start reading the 1619 Project. So like really being able, getting like I understand why you talk about it so much. I thought you were like hyping it up a little bit too much, but no, like you're not hyping it up enough at this point because it is such a great book. And I was so young at the time because I am 22 now, but you know, back in 2021 when all the controversy happened, I didn't know that was the main part of it, the reason why, you know. But anyways, like just reading that and encouraging other people. Like I've already messaged my coworker who is very into, you know, liberation and social justice, and just telling her like, hey, like I just started reading this book. I think you really need to read it. And she works with high schoolers, and she wants to help high schoolers and specifically minorities. So I think just like passing information to who I know that can help out reach more hands, but in the community itself, you know, every time you bring up the 1619 Project, trying to find ways like, to make it more accessible, things like that, you know, helping Ari with the book thing, I think is a really good thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do like the fact that our community is starting to read more. Like that means a lot to me, especially because it seems like more people have just on their own made the decision that's what they're going to do. And that's super interesting that now it's just like we're all just talking about it together. And I think that's really positive because in order to grow, we have to learn, and we can only learn and improve if we try to push ourselves to more, or push ourselves past our current limits. So I think that's a great thing. I think sharing information is a great thing. I think encouraging people is a great thing. I think all of that overall is a great thing. Jalen, all right, I'm going to give you the floor. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to talk about, add, anything that you want to share with the community? Whatever you want, floor is yours.
Something I kind of wanted to share to think about why it's important to stop these isms and phobias as well. You know, when you think of people of the whole locker room debate, me as a Black woman that has PCOS and very short hair and appears to be masculine in some appearances, when I go into the gym locker room, I get worried if, a white woman is going to yell at me and be like, hey, are you a man? Because I've had like to go to the front and be like, hey, I locked myself out of my locker. And they asked me, oh, are you in the men's or women's? So it has happened. So, having these things not only affect people that are transitioning or that are trans, but people that are also cis as well. And I think people need to get that through their heads, that it affects everybody.
Yep. And, that's actually, that's why I wanted to bring up the topic where we had the eye for an eye, we're all harm. People don't understand that, like, perpetuating harm on marginalized groups can cause harm to other people. And so they may only think about it in themselves or in that moment as far as like it being in a silo, but it has ripple effects and it reaches so many different places. That's why I'm always so pissed off when a member of a marginalized community attacks another member of a marginalized community. That doesn't make sense at all, because it's lateral harm that's going to perpetuate harm across multiple communities. So I think that's a great thing to call out, Jalen. I'm so happy that you got a chance to come up here and talk about it. I'm really proud that you've been a part of our community. I've really enjoyed being able to interact and grow with you. So thank you for coming up. Thank you for sharing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And really quick, if I can just say, I will say that this community is the best one ever, because I literally remember I had an issue in the comments and somebody DM'd me and we like shared each other's experiences, and I had no idea who this person was, but it was just so like wholesome. And it's like, oh, I didn't know the internet could be this good, like the internet was so good, but not Santana's community. So thank you so much.
It's our community. It's not Santana's community. It's ours.
Yes.
But, all right. Thank you so much. I'm going to drop you down. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. Hold on a second. Boop. Let me get back over here. All right, Caleb. And just FYI for all the people in the request, I'm going to start bringing people up in just a moment. So hold tight. Caleb, you've spoken twice and you've hit 2 home runs. The pressure's all on you because you can't let us down now. I mean, you've already set the plate, so you gotta bring this one home. Caleb, one thing that we understand is the reason these are isms is because they're systems that have been cultivated and perpetuated throughout time, and they've been strengthened in a multitude of ways. And so it may seem a little bit hyperbolic or even like with the air of hubris to say that we have to break these systems to ensure that they don't continue to repeat and harm other people. But Caleb, how do we break any of these systems? What do we do to actually fight back and break these systems and break these cycles of harm?
Well, I mean, with the hubris point, I guess trying to, run for office without learning first is going to be a bit of a cart before the horse situation. And so definitely just sticking around your inner circle first. Oh my goodness. So all this deconstructing and stuff, it's like, I gotta make sure people around me, you know how it is with our parents, and that's a tough one.
Yeah.
My dad's a little bit more receptive than my mom is, but there's times I gotta check my dad because, he's working on something, with his church and everything. And, I'm like, if you're gonna, represent the community and stuff, you just gotta make sure you recognize certain things that are harmful. Those are, they don't call themselves that anymore. They call themselves this now. That type of thing. And you know how it is with us and our parents. We have to obviously come out as respectful, but also, it's pretty cool how we adults now and they, are also receptive to it. So that was pretty amazing. But the inner circle, making sure that it ain't even right versus left or anything like that. It's about everybody in this together trying to improve the situation for everyone around us. Doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you disabled, doesn't matter if you're gay or anything. It's all about solidarity, because at the end of the day, there are factions, but we're people, and we got to stick together in this, because it's always us versus them when it comes to patriarchy, capitalism, everything. There's way more of us than them in the bug's life.
Listen. Okay, cooking. That's exactly where I wanted to go. It's our responsibility to grab people and pull them with us. Like, you hit it on the head, and men specifically. I talk about this all the time. The men, we benefit from most of these systems, specifically the patriarchy. And the only way to break these systems is by having the people who get privilege from these systems at the forefront trying to dismantle these systems. So you saying that you talk to your dad, you talk to your inner circle, you actually try to correct people in real time. That's exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. Holy smokes. I felt like a proud papa listening to you just now. All right. Especially when you drop the solidarity. Oh, okay. All right. Caleb, floor is yours. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people? Anything that we haven't got a chance to talk about that you want to mention? Anything at all? You got it.
Oh man, soapbox time. I'm on the spot. Let's see. Just help a neighbor. Make sure that kind, drink water, touch grass. What other one-liners we got? But no.
Say something kind about yourself.
Say something kind about yourself, but no, for real, whether you have little humans or, little furry friends, whoever it is, just tell them that you love them. We all going to get through this together. I know things seem dark, especially with, what's going on in this country and everything like that. But at the end of the day, love wins. And that's what we got to lean on. And Black Lives Matter.
Yep. Absolutely. Caleb, it's been a pleasure. You have to come back again. Like, you gotta come back. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much, and you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Appreciate that, big dog.
All right, have a good one. Ooh, guys, listen. All right, I'm gonna start bringing people up, but I need you guys to understand that we just had some really great people up here. So, you know what that means. The bar is already set. Let's go ahead and get more people in here. But the bar is already set. You guys better be ready. Okay, let's grab someone from YouTube. Hi, Jason, over on YouTube. Can you hear me? Oh, Jason, you came off mute and then you went back mute. Are you there? Jason? Oh, okay. I see you're off mute now.
Am I still off mute?
Yep. You're good. Perfect. All right. I just want to make sure you could hear me. Okay, go ahead, and I'm gonna, since you know how to mute and unmute yourself, I'm gonna go ahead and let you mute yourself, and then when I come to you, you can take yourself off mute. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Let me get you over here on the TikTok screen. Doot. Oh, there we go. I wish I had a better way to crop this, but this is what we got. And boop. There we go. All right. let's hit these quick introductions, and then we're going to move right into the conversation. First and foremost, Dark Lamb, welcome back, friend. How are you?
Hi, Santana. I'm making it. How are you?
Good. Dark Lamb, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities, and if so, which ones?
Now, I hope I say this right because I know that I had some corrections the other night. I'm part of the biracial community.
Hey.
I am part of the disabled community. I'm also non-binary. I'm sure there's some other stuff, but that's the gist.
Okay, perfect. And Dark Lamb, I know you've been here with us throughout this evening, and I feel like you just that you already mentioned one thing, but is there anything that you've learned throughout this week that you're going to be taking with you that's from another community?
What I will say, partially from another community, well, there's two things. I realize that I am lucky that I haven't experienced racism as much as I could have compared to a fully Black person, or just
your Black friend. I get what you're saying. You know, see, okay, I'm going to hit you with this, and I don't think you're quite ready for this conversation. But we're going to have to talk about colorism.
Yes, sir.
Do you know colorism?
I think I know the premise, but I don't want to assume that I do.
Think about racism, but within the Black community.
Okay.
Meaning the more adjacent you are to whiteness, the more privilege that you have, and then you can. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about colorism, but that is a whole Black conversation. No one but Black people get to participate in that. But it's a whole thing. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh no, you're fine. I appreciate it. I definitely want to hear more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I've learned more about. The other day when Ari was on the panel with me and everything, she had mentioned stuff about like Braille menus and things like that, asking if we knew of, because a lot of people said no.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been one of them, not confirming nor denying. But I realized my brain went to no, mainly because of the fact that when I worked at restaurants prior, there was never anything that actually was there to help people who needed Braille and things like that. I realized that the thing that I know more about is the fact that restaurants stress things about allergies and things like that, but they don't think about all these other categories that make other people's lives more difficult. And then I also remember that whenever I was working, people were a lot more rude when they were asking for accommodations because they didn't understand why they were asking for the accommodations. Now, I wasn't one of the ones that was rude about it, but I do remember having to have conversations with other people to try to get them to be mindful of how they react and how they responded towards things like that. So I liked how Ari brought that up because that's not something that's talked about enough. Even though I am part of the disabled community, there's so many different things that are underneath that category that you don't actively think about unless you know someone or unless you're a part of it yourself. Yeah. And I appreciated being her bringing that to the attention of everything because it made me remember and it made me think about more closely other people that are going through things in the same way that I am, but in the same category, things like that. I liked being brought to my attention because it's not something I think about normally, and I'm definitely very thankful to have learned more about that from Ari as well as the other things that we had spoken about. But I will say, taking from these conversations and listening to everyone, I'm very thankful that I found your community, everyone's community. I'm very thankful to be here, and be able to learn more about everything. That's what I will say.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a huge thing to say. And I think that understanding, it's so interesting. And like I said, maybe it's the fact that there's so many people who present as able-bodied that we tend to take for granted, a lot of different aspects of quote unquote being able-bodied. But one thing that you said that just really hit home with me was the way we respond to people that need accommodations, and taking a whole step outside of yourself and realizing that when people need accommodations, it's not because they're high maintenance or they're being extra or they're being difficult. At times people just need accommodations. Just because we don't think about that doesn't mean that it's not necessary. So that's a great one. Perfect. Give me a second here. Nerdy, how are you?
Santana, how are you?
I'm all right. Nerdy, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
I am. I'm also a biracial.
Did you say a biracial?
I sure did. I don't know why I said it like that.
That's almost as bad as saying blacks. No, go ahead.
Is it?
No, I was just giving you a hard time. I
see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I am fat and I'm part of the disabled community. I just learned the other day.
Okay.
And I say on the outskirts though, but I got a little do unpacking right there. So.
Okay. Is there anything that you've learned outside of your own community that you're going to be taking with you this week?
Yes. I am going to be more cognizant of people that love to say, if a man talks about a certain thing, how they use on the DL, that's homophobic as heck, or something along those lines. Like I see people in the chats all the time, especially in political lives, and like there's a man that wants to talk about a certain thing and they're like obsessed with it and like, oh, you must be part of DL, or oh, you're sassy. And it's like, that's homophobic as crap, man. Like you can't like I try to call that stuff out,
Yep. Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me a second here. Chica, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Welcome back. I'm good. I got pizza.
Thank you for having me. I have pizza too, actually.
Oh, what kind?
That's what I got tonight.
What kind did you get?
Meat lovers, because I'm kind of easy.
Okay. Really quick sidebar. Would you like to see my pizza? Because I'm telling you, it's fire.
I mean, if meat lovers came with like jalapenos and banana peppers, or even hotter peppers like a ghost pepper or something, oh my god, that would be my perfect pizza.
Okay,
but I have to put that on later.
But Chica, look at this. Look.
Oh my god,
yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm jealous.
So I want some.
Jika, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which one?
I am a trans woman and I am pansexual. I also found out that being clinically diagnosed for anxiety is part of another community, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay. And Jika, outside of your own community, have you learned anything throughout this week that you are going to be taking with you?
I have learned so much, especially like all through these nights. I can't even begin to explain how much I've learned. And Caleb, especially, like you were saying, he cooked.
Right.
It was amazing. I learned so much just from tonight, let alone the rest of the nights. and seeing you guys deconstruct SB last night, well, 2 nights ago, I mean, that was, it's amazing. That's exactly why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. All right. Perfect. Also, Debbie's in the chat for Ryan. That was cool. Okay. Last but not least, coming over to Jason. Jason, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
Good. Did you see the pizza?
It looks amazing. And,
that's how I'm doing.
I have some honey wheat pizza dough rising in the kitchen, and it's
honey
not
wheat?
gonna. Yeah, I make a honey wheat pizza dough.
I'd try it. All right, Jason, can you tell the people?
It's really good for barbecue chicken pizza.
Really?
Yeah, because the honey really brings out the barbecue. It's really nice.
Okay. Jason, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
So I'm gay, demisexual, neurosparkly, and
I've never heard that one.
I prefer neurosparkly. That suits me better than spicy because I'm allergic to capsaicin. But I'm also the one that sort of kind of not really counts. I'm quarter Indian, as in South Asian, and I present as 100% white. Like I look like a melanin vampire attacked me when I was a baby and sucked all the melanin out of me. I'm pasty as hell. But it's interesting because I didn't find out until I was an adult. So that's a whole learning process.
Okay. And Jason, is there anything that you've learned about other marginalized communities that you're going to be taking with you this week?
Well, what's interesting is that I'm a psychologist. So, everything that I'm listening to really informs more of how I can connect with my clients who are of different. By the way, I'm the Jason who, I had thanked you for educating people on educating themselves.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
But everything I am taking helps me better connect with any of my clients on so many levels. So taking one small thing is really hard to say. Even just watching the way you guys handled, I don't remember what her name was, but 2 nights ago, because you guys did that skillfully and it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Really quickly, before we get back into the conversations, guys, keep tapping the screen. Edith sent this a while ago, right? And you guys still haven't made the likes move. Don't make Edith make me turn the comments off. Boom. Tap the screen, guys. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Also, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's the little finger hearts. Please. Can we knock out the finger hearts? Last but not least, if you enjoy late nights, if you enjoy what we do here and you want to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live, to support late nights. If you're over on YouTube, just like Eugene, what up, Eugene? Who sent a $1.99 YouTube super chat. If you want to send a YouTube super chat, you can do so. Thank you so much, Eugene, guys. W's in chat for Eugene for the super chat. All right, Jason, if you could mute yourself for me, please. The Dark Lamb, coming back to you. All right. So I know you've done a lot of learning this week, and I'm super proud of you. But we're not done. Dark Lamb?
I'm more than happy to learn more.
That's good. Where does it start?
Well, you mentioned you weren't sure if I was ready for the conversation about colorism, and I think I can be ready for the conversation. It's just not something I've really really talked to anyone about before, but I'm willing and I'm very much so ready to learn about it, to understand it better.
Yeah. The only reason I say that I don't think you're ready, it's such an interesting thing, because a lot of Black people understand racism, right? Like they absolutely get racism. They absolutely understand how it exists and persists. But as soon as you start to have the conversation around colorism, then they just don't get it, right? And they, for some reason, it gets people kind of topsy-turvy. It's an interesting thing. What else have you? So I know did you get an opportunity to connect with Chica? Or wait, what's her name?
I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to remember her username right now. I did speak to her a little bit. We haven't gotten to the nitty gritties about finding the connection with the tribe that I'm connected to. But we did start chatting.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, yes, that
W's Holly.
We did start chatting, and as soon as we were done talking, I hit a follow on her. She followed me back. And definitely we're going to go down that road because it is something I am very much so happy to learn more about, because she's right. A lot of the history had been erased for many reasons, and I want to know more. And I'm very thankful that she is willing to help me with that.
Okay. Well, listen, I have homework for you.
Okay.
When you can, if you can, I think it would be a really great thing for you. I know everybody's talking about the 1619 project, and I definitely want you to be able to indulge and engage with that at some point. But I think you should actually take a look at this book that I just started. I started this morning, or no, I started it yesterday. And it's so much information. It's called The Rediscovery of America, Native People, and the Unmasking of U.S. History.
Okay.
And
The Rediscovery of America.
Native People and the Unmasking of U.S. History. And it does such a deep dive into the history of indigenous people throughout the Americas, and even before the British colonized here. One thing that I learned about this is, I'm gonna share this really quickly. Sorry. I've been making notes of stuff that I can share during sparring when I'm not getting any debates. And so I made a decision I was going to share stuff about the books that I've read, right? And so there's a couple of things that I've learned from this book. One, the Spanish ran rampant. I mean, like the conquistadors, holy smokes, they did so much damage before the British even got here. It was crazy. Also, they came and they were like, oh, we're looking for gold and spreading Jesus. They wanted to take gold and spread Jesus. Mind blowing. Most of them were poor people or either like low level army troops. Let's see here. They started the Spanish started colonizing indigenous people before the Mayflower even made it here. Like, I didn't know that. And then there was one point where they were shipping more indigenous people out than African people were being brought here for slaves. It's crazy. Also, they weaponized disease. I thought the colonizers were just like gross and had disease. They literally, they had a targeted approach about how they wanted to spread disease to affect the indigenous people. Crazy. And then
it really is.
Last but not least, the fun thing, they said the English people, they couldn't conquer land, meaning they didn't know how to actually till the land or anything like that. So they conquered the people that conquered the land by enslaving them and making them conquer the land. I'm telling you, the book is crazy. But if you get time, I'm telling you, I think that would be an amazing, amazing thing for you to get into.
Oh, definitely 100%. I will be looking on Audible to see if I can get a hold of it, because that'll be the easier way for me. But yes, I definitely will check that out. That sounds awesome. And yeah, you bringing that up actually reminds me. Whenever I was in school, high school, everything like that, they only teach you such small portions about certain things, and they neglect to tell you anything about like certain types of history. So I would always go out of my way to learn more about different parts of history because the teachers would not teach you. They wouldn't teach you things that that we should know, that we all should know and learn. And it's kind of just really crazy. So I've always loved learning and teaching myself without the school because they didn't want to teach it. And it's amazing when you look and you see the differences, and they're purposely not teaching people. They really are. And it's a beautiful thing to go out of your comfort zone and go looking for the answers yourself.
Yeah. I think that's super important. I think that's really important for us to actually continue. That's why I'm so happy that we as a community, we're pushing each other and we're trying to grow together. I think that's like absolutely something that's necessary. And I'm so glad that we're finding information together. So like, that's absolutely awesome. Guys, for anyone who's saying, what's the name of the book again? It's on the screen. So just in case you're not looking, if anyone was wondering, one more time, that's the name of the book. It is a really wild book. It's really, really good. So, you know, if you guys have time, get it. Okay. Dark Lamb. The floor is yours. We've talked about a lot. Is there anything else that we have had conversations about this week that you want to talk about? Anything that any questions or anything that you have? The floor is yours.
Yes. So we didn't speak about this the other night because it's not something I have spoken about. When it comes to ableism and just the perception of people with disabilities, it's very skewed, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, I'm sorry if I start sounding emotional, because I sometimes start getting that way when I speak about this sort of thing.
It's okay. Feel your feels. It's okay.
So I have 6 chronic illnesses. And I became chronically ill at the age of 10. So I've been ill longer than I ever was healthy. And it starts out subtle, and people, they see a young person, they think, oh, they got to be healthy. You got to do this. You got to go, you know, and they just see they see the outside, but they don't know what's going inside.
Yeah.
And so I definitely challenge people to, you know, you might see someone like at the grocery store and you see someone that's young and they're sitting in one of the electric wheelchairs. And there's a lot of people that will automatically might give off dirty looks or things like that because they're automatically assuming that it's a healthy person that is using something that they do not need. And another example, now I will not lie, I have crashed out on people before.
Not me. I've never done that ever.
Because I have a handicapped black card and I've had one for a very long time. And about 4 years ago now, my illnesses that have gotten worse, certain ones popped up. Trigger warning. I almost died many times. And it's definitely something that really threw my life in a loop. So before I became completely to the point to where I couldn't leave the house without my mom being with me, I would go pick up our groceries, or I would go do something. I'd be using the electric cart at the store, you know, minding my own business, doing my own thing. And one instance that happened that I would say was really difficult to deal with was one of these days I was parking in a handicap, and then I got out of my truck, and there was this older gentleman who happened to be a older white man. And the first thing he did was yell, and I mean literally yell at me across the whole thing, like everyone could hear it. Basically started cussing me out, saying I shouldn't be using my grandparents' handicap placard. Mind you, where I live at, you literally have to have your face on the placard. But that's not what they don't care to look. So it's just always try to be mindful when you're out and you see things, and certain people people assume you might be making fun of something by you walking differently, or just always, you know, try to don't automatically assume, because I personally have had a lot of people try to automatically assume things. Yeah. And it's very harmful to the community and to the mental health of people within the community. For a very long time, I was very much so ashamed to use my walker, to use my wheelchair, to use any sort of mobility aid. And it was to the point to where I was willing to accidentally hurt myself by trying not to use it. But, you know, my mom ended up basically yelling at me. She's like, if you hurt yourself because of this, then she's like, I'm gonna beat your butt. And it took a long time because of the looks that I would get with things that I use to help me get around. Now, just you see someone using something just because they're not older or they just look like they're healthy and full of life, don't assume that they are, because you can look completely fine on the outside but falling apart on the inside.
You know why the old white man yelled at you or thought that he had the right to?
I have some ideas.
Racism. And people may think that I'm joking, but I'm actually serious. It is actually racism. One of the things that happened after slaves took their freedom, and we do know for a fact that not only Black slaves, but indigenous slaves took their freedom during the Reconstruction period and moving into the Reclamation period. There were slave codes enacted, right? Which look at J-Hop. Oh, absolutely. Overseers, the people that they literally passed laws that gave pretty much autonomy of white people over Black people, even though Black people were free, even though indigenous people were free. They literally gave them the ability to detain them, to stop and say, let me see your papers, like literally. And it's something innate. And Solid, shout out to Solid. I know he's not listening because he's old, but Solid told, it made like such a great correlation about like how the modern day Karen is like directly derived from that overseer status that was ordained upon white people after, the slaves were free. So that's something that has been perpetuated throughout history. They were literally told, and that was put into law, that they could do what they did to you. So it's a whole thing. It's literally a whole thing.
Yeah, that was the first person I crashed out on.
On Solid, I crashed out on him too.
No, that older man, when that happened, I was in the worst mind space I had been in because of just how drastic everything changed, and the fact that I'm actively trying to keep myself, breathing, despite my body being the way it is. And I cussed him out, and I did not feel bad. And you're right, definitely no racism was involved in it. I've had a lot of experiences with older white gentlemen, sometimes white women, that it's obvious where their prejudice has lied. And they were just using that on top of all my other things that were obviously something was different about me. So I definitely agree with you, and I understand that is a big thing, and it's the them thinking they have the audacity is something that I will never understand. And yeah, what I will say is I truly am thankful that I found your page. Because I kind of live in my own little bubble. I'm not okay enough to, go out and do things. And I like having a stimulating conversation or just learning things. And it's something I haven't been able to do for many, many reasons. So even though I have a harder time processing things due to my illnesses, I'm still like actively trying to make sure I engage with everything, and I'm trying to make sure I fully grasp what you're saying in the conversations. And I'm just so thankful that you have given us a place where we can use our voice, and it really does make a big impact.
Yeah, no, listen, I will say this. I am absolutely happy, proud, excited, honored to have you a part of our community now. I'm really glad that you're here. And even more so, and I say this to you and I say this to everyone, and I truly mean this. Sometimes life gets extremely hard, extremely hard. But having the opportunity to wake up and do it again for another day always gives us the opportunity to be better than we were the day before. All right. So as long as we're here, we got to make the best of what we have and continue to try to grow and be better. And so you becoming a part of our community is just another step as far as you being better and us being better because of you. So thank you so much for being here.
May I say one more thing before I go?
Okay. Yes, but we got to make it quick because I want to make sure we get to everyone else.
Very quick. I will say, trigger warning, health stuff. One last thing. Almost dying made me appreciate being alive, because I never had that. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I never felt the desire to, want to be here. And my reason for being here has always been for my mom, because she's my everything. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized how much I wanted to be here. And you're right, every day is a wonderful, thankful to be here day, no matter how bad I'm feeling. So you are right. And I just wanted to point that out, that it made me be thankful to be here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming up. Thank you for being a part of our community. I'm really happy, proud, and excited. Oh, wait, how old are you?
I'm 24.
20. Awesome. Have you joined Ari's Discord yet?
Yes, I actually did that same night that I spoke up, and I woke up to being accepted without asking for proof of who I am, because I just
W's.
That
also, must mean that you're not a Nazi.
I know what Solid looks like now. I know what Solid looks like now.
Did you see his pretzel hat?
I might have missed it. Oh.
Yeah, he wears a pretzel hat. He loves when you compliment his. Next time you see him, just say, "Hey, that's an amazing pretzel hat," and he loves it.
I will. I just wanted to make sure you knew. I know what Solid looks like, and he's definitely not Logic.
No, Solid is not Logic. He is not. All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Okay. Nerdy. Oh, sorry. 1 second before I go to you, Nerdy. Let me do this really quick. Sorry. 1 second. W's in the chat for Amy. Amy sent a $20 donation. Said because Black labor should never, all capitalized, be free. W's in the chat for Amy for the $20 donation. I appreciate the heck out of that, Amy. You are absolutely amazing. Debbie's in the chat as well for Manders for the one chair bit to say I had meat lovers pizza too. Did everybody eat pizza today? You copycats. You guys literally just copied me. And W's in the chat as well for and moved on me. Pamadesi for the 5 chair bits that says happy Disability Pride Month. Happy Disability Pride Month to you as well. W's in the chat for Lotus, who just reached 130 streak over on Twitch. W's in chat for all the donos, and W's in chat for all the people over on Twitch, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, if you guys enjoy late nights, what we do here, and you want to keep it going, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out, guys. You may want to keep tapping because, Kay is taking the route of threatening to turn off the comments. I think it's the Edith influence. I don't know what's happening, but I can't save you. So keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to, let's do 125,000. We can do that. Tap the screen. All right. Sorry, Nerdy. Coming back to you. So we've talked about a couple of different things, and I was just speaking, of course, to Dark Lamb, and we were talking about like, what is she gonna do, right? Coming back to you, I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of a different question.
Okay.
Nerdy, how do we check ourselves to ensure that we're addressing our blind spots, right? It's easy to say, oh, if we know the things, then we're just going to address the things. But how do we ensure that we aren't just willfully, or maybe not willfully, but we're not ignorant of certain things? How do we tackle our blind spots when it comes to other marginalized communities and even ours?
That's a great question, because I always think about this, because the last thing I want to do is cause harm to my own community or to a community that I am not a part of. So for what I do, and I kind of learned this in therapy as well, is to sit with yourself and figure out why something bothers you to the point of you feeling the need to say something about it. And where do you feel it in your body? Like usually if I get upset, it's usually in my tummy area, or irritated, like today. I got irritated.
In your tom-tom?
Yeah, I wasn't good. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, exactly. Like get upset about a change in work today. And I was like sitting with myself, I was like, why am I so irritated? It's a new process and I'm learning it as I go, and it's taking me a little bit longer than it used to. I think it has a lot to do. So I think that, because I think that, and this is just my opinion, that introspection is hard for a lot of people. And especially if you don't have an inner monologue to check yourself with. I think a lot of people don't have inner monologues that they hear themselves say, wait, that's wrong. They just kind of do the things or say the things, like, you'll see like when you're sparring, you'll have these ultra crepidarians with all the confidence in the world say things and they know nothing. They don't even know the basics of what they're talking about, but they talk about it with such confidence as if they know what they're talking about. And I always say in your chat all the time, man, I wish I had that type of confidence. And I feel like it feels like with more education and reading, it always is a great help. But are you doing the things along with the reading and the self-educating? Because if you're not doing those things, then what's the point of deconstruction or unpacking your implicit bias?
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, because understanding that we all have areas to improve and we don't know what we don't know, right? It's always going to be a time where we can actually sit back and say like, hey, what am I missing? I won't say, I'll share a story, but I can't tell the full details. But I had something happen And at first I was like, nah. And I ended up picking up the phone today, and I called both Jeff and Solid. And I talked to both of them, and I was like, hey, is it just my ego, right? Am I just being prideful in the moment, or is it really a thing? And I explained all of it to them, and they were like, yeah, basically you're just being prideful. And I said, okay, I guess I need to check my ego, which gave me the opportunity to sit back and say, you know what? I'm glad that I have someone that can help me see my way through those unknown areas. But I think trying to actually take a whole step back and recognize that we have flaws, we have opportunities, and it's always going to be important to try to identify what those things are. And then even more, having someone that has the ability to be like straightforward and call it out for you. So I think that's a good thing. And working through those areas, especially like you said, therapy is absolutely a great way. So
yeah, that's why there's like so many different kinds of therapies, and we know that one way just doesn't work for everybody. Same thing with deconstructing. Like there's different ways of doing it, and if anybody says that you're not doing it the right way, then they're not doing it themselves, because everybody receives information differently. That's why if I see somebody, like if I'm on the panel and I happen to know of a documentary, I always recommend a documentary. I understand documentaries aren't always unbiased, but sometimes people are visual learners and they can at least get started down that road. Like I tend to associate a lot of things with TV and movies and to my real life of what I see. Like, do you mind if I give a quick example?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, so once in a while I'll want to watch dumb TV, like reality TV. And I was watching
you want to say the UMP.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I said that. I am so sorry.
Sometimes you can say like trashy TV.
Trashy TV. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I did not mean to.
All good.
But I watch reality TV, and I rewatched The Bad Girls Club not too long ago. And learning everything that I've learned so far and being in these spaces, it kind of made me realize that there might be like a psychologist in the background, and they're doing the Stanford Prison Project in these shows. And it kind of made me wonder if that's not in a lot of TV, that they're doing these things, that they have like a lot of reality TV where they have psychologists in the background and they're doing things to create great TV.
That's interesting. It's interesting. Okay.
And I watched a movie about the Stanford Prison Project. That's all.
What's the last thing I watched? I watched the latest episode of One Piece yesterday. But like they kind of got me pissed off because like, why is Loki still? Never mind. I'm not gonna give a spoiler. Anyway, nerdy.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I know. Nerdy. Floor is yours. Is there anything else throughout the week that we've talked about that you want to talk about, address anything that you may have, any questions, whatever? Floor is yours.
I think I said everything I need to say. I just hope that, there is one thing I would like to say, obviously if that's okay, but it is, you just told me to. I feel like people are trying to word this properly. I feel like we as a society, we only react to reactions and we don't react to the root causes of things. And I feel like if we did a little bit more retrospection, I always get retrospection, introspection. Introspection. Yeah. We can avoid doing that, because I feel like I see so many times you'll see people that will react to the reaction, and then you see like someone like a chud getting like all this money and saying it's just free speech. It's just free speech. But obviously he did a racist thing, but it's always like people that agree with him that think, oh, he didn't do anything wrong, he's going to get off, and things like that. So like, I believe in sitting with yourself and figuring out why you feel uncomfortable when somebody brings up race or talks about things like that. So
yeah, I agree. I think that like taking self-inventory is something important that we could all do and all should do. I mean, I think going back to what you were saying, like that internal voice, that inner monologue, not everyone has that. And even like not everyone has a moral compass, right? Being transparent, I don't think that I have like a great moral compass overall, but I have great people who have great moral compasses. And so there's some ones that I look to ensure that I'm always going the right way. I think my wife has the best moral compass of anyone that I've ever met. And so while a part of me growing and trying to be a better person is one, trying to take inventory of myself and then working on my moral compass and, still deferring to the people who are better than me that's around me. And then that way, like you just said, it's not reacting anymore. It's being proactive and ensuring that we're addressing those things instead of just waiting for something to blow back towards us.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. Well, Nerdy, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you for joining the conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and drop you down.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak my piece as always. Like, I really do appreciate that. I have a hard time talking on panels, so I do love that.
Cap.
What?
You come up here and you just like, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm happy that you feel comfortable enough in our community to be able to have these conversations.
Your community, like, I know you're trying to drop me down. Like, I just gotta say though, this community is so wonderful. Like,
they're okay.
I see
they're okay. Wait a minute. Don't hype them up too much, because then like they're not even at 150,000 likes. You can't give them compliments. They're not even at 150,000 likes. And like Zay said, them not being at 150,000 likes is either racist or anti-black. So
don't tell me how to live my life. I want to hype them up.
No,
I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you so much, and I'm so glad that you created this community. I feel like when I come in here, I can be like, "Good morning," and I get a couple good mornings. I don't feel so invisible. So.
Yeah. No. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm glad that we all have an opportunity to be better together. So,
yay!
All right,
better together. Okay,
absolutely. Thank you, Jika. I saw what you were doing. I saw you passing around galaxies and whatnot.
I mean, I wanted to give the panel like
whatever.
Sorry.
I just wanted to make sure you knew you weren't leaving without one. Chica. All right. Coming to you. I actually have a special question for you, Chica, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll try to take it. Sorry.
No. You're part of a community that is overwhelmingly targeted, especially today, right? Like not only disproportionately in like the grand scheme of things, but like hyper focused on. And I think that people within the transgender community, their voices aren't elevated enough. They don't get enough opportunity to speak for themselves. They don't get enough opportunity to advocate for themselves without fear of retaliation. It's a lot of things that disproportionately shift the negative that marginalized communities face towards transgender people. All right. And even it seems like some people within other marginalized communities are willing to offload the burden of being a part of a marginalized community onto transgender people, so we don't have to face those burdens, which is absolutely wrong. So Jika, in this moment, I don't have any questions for you. I don't have any guardrails for you. I don't have anything. I just want you to be able to speak about whatever you want to speak about for however long you want to speak about it. The floor is yours.
I mean, okay, first off, we do have those guardrails still. Getting
Just no cursing because my mom's watching. That's the only one.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'll be grown.
Okay.
As I'm trying. But like being in the trans community, even like as much as I have learned from the trans community, like there is so much, like you can get into a trans woman community and it's still very white centric. And like figuring out like where that line stops and like why it's hard for like other trans women that happen to be Black have a hard time getting in there is hard. But at the same time, like that line is what we need to like focus on, because there shouldn't be a line there. Like we are all part of a marginalized community. We need to grow together. It shouldn't be hard for somebody to be in my community, to like, or somebody that is in my community to be in my community just because of a difference of their color of skin and or phenotypical characteristics. And this, it's hard. It took me a long time to realize why a lot of Black trans women like had a hard time being in a space with other trans women, and like it's a thing. It is a thing, and like we all need to get together to actually like beat this. Like everybody is talking about the winning of the 14th Amendment and stuff. And yes, awesome. I'm glad the 14th Amendment has been held up. But like at the same time, there was two different things in the Supreme Court in America that literally just erased trans people in the word of the law. So like the Supreme Court wasn't a win. I'm just glad I don't have to live in America, and I'm lucky to be in Canada where like I can tell a bigot like, no, you're paying for my HRT. Like, sorry, deal with it.
Yeah. I think that speaks not only a lot about you, Jika, but a lot about the community. In the moment that I just gave you the floor to speak to people and say whatever you wanted to say, you took a moment to recognize another marginalized community within a marginalized community. Speaking up for Black trans women is like one of the most important things that we can do, right? And I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing that. I couldn't agree more, right? I understand exactly what you said. And even with the Supreme Court ruling of birthright citizenship, Clarence Thomas even was like, oh, I don't think it'll hold the test of time. We know that these people are not done trying to tear down the systems, and them scoring one win and then having two losses doesn't mean that everything was great. That means that they got away with one. And for us to like not recognize the one that they got away with continues to perpetuate the harm as a whole. So I think that's an amazing thing to call out. I think it's an amazing thing for to use your voice or your time to actually speak up for other communities. And that's what this is about. Even though that's your community, it's still someone within your community that's more marginalized than yourself. And we have to find ways to use whatever privilege that we have to uplift other people's voices that are marginalized and use our privilege to protect them in whatever way. So, Chica, that was awesome. Chica, the floor is still yours. Is there anything else that we've talked about throughout this week that you wanted to bring back up, talk about, questions, comments, anything at all?
I mean, other than that, go check out Ari. Ari for Education. Her book club. I read Black Trans Feminism, and I'm rereading it now because, one listen through on the audiobook, not enough. I need to get more. And other than that, thank you so much for having me up again. I did not expect this, and I hope I didn't take time from other people.
You did amazing.
Thank you.
I'm happy that you came back up. I'm happy that you're part of our community and you're just here with us. So thank you for coming to spend time with us again this evening. I'm gonna drop you down. And let's see here. Sorry. Debbie's in the chat for Jared for the $1 donation, saying, yep, pizza as well. You started a trend. I made homemade jerk chicken. Holy smokes. And put some Nando's pepper hot sauce. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. W's in the chat, Jared. Holy smokes. W's in the chat, Jared. W's in the chat for Miss Bellasella. W's in the chat for Miss Bellasella, who sent a $20 donation and said, thank you for creating such an amazing community. I promise you, I didn't do it. You guys literally did this yourself. Like, I truly mean this when I say this. This community is not mine. This community is yours. You guys did this. Having hard discussions that need to be had with everyone. Wanted to share some love with my voice being down for the final night. Well, Miss Bellasella, thank you so much for sharing the love. Sorry that you couldn't join the actual conversation for the last night, but you're always here. You're always amazing. Thank you for being here and being a part of our community. W's in chat for Miss Bellasella, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, if you guys enjoy what we do here on late nights, and you want to keep it going, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Jason, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Jason, I want to come back over to you just for a second. And the question that I have for you is understanding that overall, people need resources. People need to be able to gain resources to strengthen what we have, to build and to grow a little bit more. What can people do to obtain resources to continue to grow? Even if they don't have, let's say, money or whatever, what can people do to continue to grow?
I would say the most important thing is shut up and listen. If you're on one of these late nights for 10 minutes, somebody's throwing out some resource for somebody on some topic that is salient. If you're paying attention, if you're just listening to people, it's always coming to you. You just have to listen, and don't take everything someone tells you as a reason to argue with them.
Yeah. I think that is a great thing because a lot of times we come across things that we may not know, and like listening, that's absolutely free, right? I think that also creates curiosity, because you might actually hear something that piques your curiosity, that makes you want to go out and find this resource, or reach out to someone and say, hey, you were talking about X, Y, or Z. Where can I find that? So I think that's a huge thing, right? I think a lot of times we limit ourselves based off of what we know immediately. But if we open ourselves up to learning more, then we can actually grow more, we can gain more, we can find more. So I think that's a huge thing. Okay, Jason, floor is yours. Anything we've talked about this week, anything that we've missed, I'm definitely willing to take your feedback on anything that people need to hear as well. Anything at all that you got?
You know, to go back to one of the heart videos that you showed, what was it, last night?
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
The dude who the woman said something racist to him, so he got transphobic on her. If you're gonna clap back, that's fine, but you don't go to isms.
Yep.
I guarantee you there are 50,000 things about every single person,
right, that
you can clap back about without getting bigoted.
Yeah.
When people go with the F slur for me, oh, that's cute. That's cute. You spent no time thinking about that.
Right.
There's lots to make fun of about me. There's lots. Just make fun of any of that. F slur. Oh God. But yeah, if someone says something nasty to you, it doesn't make anything in the situation better. Resorting to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah. I think that a lot of times people attack those things because they not only have they been socialized to think that, like, oh, being gay, ew, icky, I'm going to talk about that, or at least I'm not black, as the one person said in the video, or like anything, like talking about those things is not something that, if I'm going to be honest, when people come up and they like try to troll me, or they just, spam the hard R or whatever, I'm thinking to myself, like, I've been black my entire life. I've dealt with this my entire life. You're doing this because this is like getting you off in some type of weird way, but this isn't affecting me. And so more than that, understanding that people project a lot, right? The reason why people do this, the reason why people overcompensate, the reason why people weaponize slurs or hateful language is because they have a lack of ability, or they have inability to either understand something that's different than themselves, or they're suppressing something within themselves that they don't want to address. And so they lash out. And so I always try to remember that people who have an inability to actually show empathy or to actually engage in normal civilization, that's not a me problem. That's something going on with them, and they need help. So I think that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming and joining the conversation. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys. So technically we're at time, right? Technically. I just got the question, are the boxes closed? And I said no. Now, what we're going to do is, I see there's multiple community members that still are here, still have not gotten the opportunity to actually speak. And I'll make you guys a deal. We'll get the community members in, but you guys got 2 minutes. Got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then we got to cut it short. So I'll try to get as many people in as possible. I want you guys to be heard. I want you guys to have an opportunity to chime in on the conversation. Boom, put the clock there. But we have to remember, we'll get 2 minutes because technically we are over time. All right, let's bring people in. All right. Perfect. All right, we're gonna start at the bottom, and we're gonna start with Caroline. How are you, Caroline?
I'm managing.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, Caroline. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm sorry we only got 2 minutes, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak about whatever you want to speak about. Floor is yours. It's on you.
So, I've watched the VODs because, time difference. But something that really stuck with me was the language thing, because I think a lot of people still don't even realize how much harmful language they're using in day-to-day life. And to make it very, very short, I'm going to close it with, I think, going back to the future, we actually have to understand and completely work through history, because I think a lot of, areas haven't done that. So, yeah, to go back to the future, we have to finish closing history.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing. And I know you and I have talked about history a lot. And I think a lot of people have a lack of understanding as far as how it may not always repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. Caroline, one thing that I know is your country, in the history of your country, going through a similar thing that we're seeing here within our country, they literally started to attack marginalized communities first. Can you talk for a moment just about anything that you can share with people here in the U.S. as far as being aware of the way that those attacks went towards marginalized communities?
Well, basically, they used the history that was already standing from basically ever since the Middle Ages and probably before. So the danger lays in, in that case, repeating history, standing with the old talking points, because they still work. We're seeing that. So that's why I'm saying we have to actually close with history, because only if we understand the actual history, we, can work through it and actually head for the future, because we now understand the underlying, well, not issue, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I do. Absolutely. Caroline, thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry that we couldn't get you in here sooner, but I'm really glad to see you back. And I know the time. How was your vacation?
It was very hot. I mean, it was Italy.
Okay. Well, welcome back, Caroline. Thank you so much for coming up this evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good one. Jared, guess what I picked up today?
What did you get?
Cheez-Its.
It's about time.
I finally made it. When I went to the P.O. box, the lady looked at me like, finally, because I want to say there was like 6 packages in the P.O. box. It was a lot. But W's in chat, thank you so much I had management. She likes to open packages. So she opened up all the packages and she was just taking everything out. And I walked away for a second and I came back. And then I saw the gummy worms and she was like, yeah, look at this. And I was like, look at what? And then the 2 boxes of cheeses. Oh, locked in. Thank you so much. I appreciate the heck out of you.
I'm worried I didn't get you enough.
No, absolutely. There's more than enough. Thank you.
I'm hoping you like those pumpkin seed flavors. I was worried about that.
Oh, you can't go wrong with pumpkin seeds. They're always amazing. Okay. All right. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. The floor is going to be yours. You can take it wherever you want to go. And boom.
I'm going to try to lightning round. So I struggle with saying that I'm part of a marginalized community, but I do deal with a list of invisible disabilities, specifically a chronic pain condition called complex regional pain syndrome. I guess to fit into the 2 minutes, I think community like this, where we can sit with ourselves and sit with others, is the best way to learn what others go through and get a better understanding. I'm a 6'2", 300+ pound man. By all means, I look extremely strong, but I can be running around lifting 200 pounds on the deadlift one day, and the next day I can barely walk, and I'm in an electric scooter. So we get too caught up in judging a book by its cover, no matter what they are dealing with, no matter what has caused them to be on the margins. I just think what you were doing here, especially with all the stories that have been told, is one of the best ways to continue to understand others and the situation they're in. So I think what we need to continue to do is sit with ourselves and understand and be uncomfortable, and then really look outside of ourselves and stop being focused on ourselves and watch the world around us and understand the world around us. And then hopefully we gain better understanding and understand that one person may look a certain way, but that inside they're struggling.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we can always do is never think just because we can see a person that we actually see a person, right? So many of us can be in a room full of people but feel so alone. We never know what other people are dealing with. Mm-hmm. And I think it's super important to always lead with kindness and empathy, because people have their own battles. So I think that was so well said. And I think that's been like one thing that's been highlighted throughout this entire week, is that we all have something, but there's always someone with something. And so seeing that humanity in other people, that's why it's so important. So I was going to save this. I was going to save this until the very end, but I'll say this now. A wise person once said, a reminder, the disabled community is the only marginalized community that everyone is or will be a part of if you live life long enough, which is why it's so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before you drop me down, get you some of that Nando's peri peri sauce.
I have no idea what that is.
It's
never
hot
heard
sauce
of that.
Made from a North African spice. Peri peri.
Oh, yeah. Well, management's Ethiopia. We get like some Burberry, and then her mom like to make some. Yeah. Oh, we're good. We're good. But
yeah, I bet you are, man.
I appreciate it.
You too.
All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Boss lady fun. Boss lady fun. Boss lady fun.
Hey.
How are you? I'm all right.
Good.
I got my pizza and we chilling.
Ooh, W pizza.
Right. All right. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. The floor is gonna be yours. You can take it any way you want.
Okay. Yeah, there was so much good stuff said, tonight and just this week. And I'd just say it's really important to try to do your part wherever you can. I would say, like, when it comes to intersectionality, there's going to be, where you have oppression or you have privilege, and wherever you do have privilege, I would say try to use that the best that you can to speak up for others. And, something for me, like, that I've done more so is I'm in like the LGBTQ spaces a lot. And I would say I've learned so much from so many of them, and trans people especially. You never know how much you'll learn about yourself just by learning from other people and their struggles and things and what it means to be who they are, right? Or find more about yourself, you know? So that's something I'm grateful for when I say to trans women is it actually helped me understanding them more, understand myself more as a woman. And I never expected that. So it's just, you just never know. Being kind, all these things, it's not hard. And you will find benefit where you didn't think there was one. So that would just be what I'd say is just, it's so easy to just be kind and learn from others and be willing to just sit back and listen and appreciate the communities around us. See people.
Yeah. I agree. And I think a lot of people don't look outside of themselves. But it seems like this week has forced a lot of people to look outside of themselves. And I think that's a good thing because that means we're going to grow. To your point, we're going to grow. When we have to think about more than ourselves, then we get the opportunity to be like better. And so I think you just like smash that point. So thank you, Boss Lady Fun.
Thank you, like always. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm gonna drop you down.
Bye.
Bye. Blue Barbie, what's going on?
Hello, Santana. Hello, chat. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been waiting.
I'm good.
I tried to get you in here earlier, but then I didn't know if you like dropped or disconnected or whatever. And then
I did drop. Yeah.
Oh.
I was a bit shy. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes on the clock. You get to talk about whatever you want, and the floor will be yours. Okay?
Yep. Sure, of course. First thing before you start the the clock started.
No, hold on. I got it. Don't worry. We'll stop. Hold on. Okay. All right. Stop it. Boom. All right. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
Before I start what I say, and this is related to what I'm about to talk about. This is to the chat. To everyone in the chat, if you think that willful ignorance is a huge issue in this country, type a 1 in the chat.
There they go. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can start the timer now.
All right, hold on. Let me reset it. Okay. All right, hold on. Boom, and then. All right. Oh, wait. Dang it! Stop it. I keep hitting apply. I don't know how to restart it. Let's just hang out for a minute. As a matter of fact, let me just stop it, Mari. I knew someone was going to say that. It doesn't have a restart here. This is not my fault. And this is literally not my fault. It doesn't have a restart thing. I don't know how. The time just got to run out. Whatever. Like, don't play in my face. Dang it, guys. W's in the chat for your toxic city for the $10 super chat to say, I love our community so much. Thank you for everything that you do, Santana. I used to be a right winger. Holy smokes. And I'm still finding new unforeseen spots all the time. Much love. Much love. I'm holy. That is crazy. W's in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. W's in the chat as well for Dark Lamb for the one to say, oh, I forgot to mention oh yeah, medical racism. It's crazy. I'm gonna hold on to that Blue Barbie because of the actual trigger warning, but like medical racism, holy smokes. I'm glad that you finally got the help that you needed with that, and they didn't invalidate it because that is crazy.
That was not me. That was not me.
Did I say Blue? Oh, I said that because you were here.
I did not send that.
Dark
it's
Lamb,
okay.
sorry. Dark Lamb. I saw you and then I was reading the message. Dark Lamb, sorry. Dark Lamb. Followed up by another $1 said, I got my audiobook recommendation. Absolutely. W's in the chat, Dark Lamb. W's in the chat for all the donation, guys. You are absolutely amazing. If anyone else wants to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right. Ready, Blue Barbie?
I am, yes.
All right. Boom.
So the reason why I started with that was because woeful ignorance is, at least in my opinion, woeful ignorance is how these systems continue to be upheld. People deciding to not educate themselves, people who continue to dismiss things as a joke and continue to minimize it, like whenever they engage in like racism and bigotry or ableism, all of that. People who continue to say that is in my opinion a form of willful ignorance. It's a form of you not recognizing and you refusing to understand how this rhetoric harms other people. And that type of like, I think that a lot of people have like subscribed to the idea that their actions only affect them, which is not true. Your actions, the things that you deciding to not educate yourself, you deciding to continue to use harmful language, you continuing to dismiss it as just a joke. That's how these systems continue to be upheld, and that's how people continue to be hurt.
Yeah. Listen, Blue Barbie, you hit it on the head. And people can try to say that they don't know, or like you said, it's just a joke, or it's not a big deal. But when they do that, they're only invalidating the lived experience of so many people. And it's our responsibility to not let them off the hook, to call them out and say, that's not a joke. That's not funny. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't do that. And we have to make sure we're standing up for each other. So I think that's a great thing to make sure that we let people know.
I know the time is running up. I do have one more thing that I'd like to mention, and it is related to this. So a couple of months ago, so I am in a group chat with friends from work, and I remember that there were a couple of people who were joking about something, and then eventually someone made a joke about people with schizophrenia. They were engaging in ableism, and the people in the community started obviously reacted in disgust, saying why why would you say that? Like why would you say that? That is so disrespectful. That's ableist. And also they said that your rhetoric harms other people, and you saying that it can harm other people that have it themselves. And the person who said that, the person who was engaging in ableism, he got so mad when people started calling him out. He said, "Oh, you're all getting so soft. It was just a joke. It's not going to harm other people. I'm just one person. I'm just one person." And then he started like dismissing it. He started saying like, "Oh, it's not going to cause that. I'm just one person making a joke on a group chat. It's not the end of the world."
Yeah.
And that just made me so mad seeing someone, because this was someone who I trusted.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, and Blue Barbie, thank you so much for coming up. Thank you for being here. You listen, I'm actually starting to, I'm going to say this. You're starting to set the bar higher and higher. Like every time you come up here, you bring it. But I'll say, like, I completely agree. People like that lash out because they project, right? They know they're wrong. And then when they're called out, they get angry. And that's all it is just projection. But you did the right thing. I think that was the right thing to call them out. And even more so, I'm just happy that you're able to take some of the stuff that we're learning and sharing, growing with it within our community. And you're using that in everyday life, because we can't let people off the hook with stuff like that.
I agree.
All right.
Thank you for having me up. Have a great night, Santana, and love you, love the community. W's.
Absolutely,
all right, goodbye.
love you as well. All right. And coming over to YouTube, Soul Survivor. If you're looking for me, I be on the block with my thing cocked, possibly looking for the cops now. 'Cause I'm a rider. I'm just a soul survivor. Are you there? Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. How's it going, man?
You sound kind of far away though.
Sorry, I'm on my old computer. Well, it's not really old. I'm sorry, man. It's just kind of bad.
No, you're good.
How about I try? Is this better? Am I a little bit closer?
Yeah. You're good. All right. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock for you. You can't see the 2 minutes, can you?
No, but I think I can figure it out.
All good. But you can see me, right?
Yeah, I can see you. You can't see me. What time is it?
Yeah, I can see you. I'll wave my hand if you get when you're at about 15 seconds to give you a warning. And you can just flow with it, okay?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right.
I'm kind of nervous. So if you're gonna ask, I think that you ask. I'm part of a marginalized community.
No, whatever you want. This is your time.
Okay. This is a big time, right? I want to talk about harmful language. That's on the panel, right? That's what it's called. So I do jujitsu sometimes, and I play basketball. I love basketball. I hated it, and I live in a very white town. I'm biracial. My dad's white. My mom's black, and I think that's a lot more rare in the U.S. than anything I've seen. Having a black mom is kind of rare. I think that's kind of cool, and we don't really. My mom and I talk about that all the time, and she's real cool. I get all my information from you and her, and I read a lot. My dad's super cool too. So I play basketball, right? And I live in a really I don't like saying it, it's a really white town. And, as a black guy growing up in a white town, there's a lot of kids. I'm only 20. And, I grew up with these guys and, it's a lot of language that should be thrown around. And I think the word, I always remind myself of solidarity, like they use like certain words in terms of solidarity. And, I don't like that, man. It's like, don't be saying that stuff. Like, like the certain words, certain terms, like, hey man, like I get what you're trying to do. And like, you're trying to look like a brother, but it's like, you ain't doing that right, man. And, my friend, I like to bring up my friend. I'm not gonna throw him on the bus or anything, but he's 18 and his brother's older, but he's Mexican. He's straight Mexican. His family's Mexican, but he's brown skin. He's, maybe, is that the right term?
No, I mean, Mexican is the nationality. If he's brown, he could be indigenous. He could even be black. It just depends on the phenotype.
I'm not going to assume, but I think, he's brown.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. I'm not going to assume because, it's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes saying, the word. And I'm thinking like, okay.
No, I was just letting you know that you're toward, but go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, like I don't like just spouting stuff and saying like, oh, it's all in good, it's like all in solidarity, but you don't know like the history, man. Like you don't read your history, you don't know the stuff behind it, and not everyone's the same, man. So it's like I can't be saving people. But as a black person, it ain't my job to save you. Like I ain't saving people for free and stuff. So it just kind of hurts, like I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
No, you're good. I get what you're saying. I think the biggest thing that I'll say from what I just took from you, people look at you as like, hey, black man, tell me what to do, right?
Yeah.
I'll say this. When it comes to like helping teach people and helping people to learn, like I think that's a good thing. But I don't know if you know who Swan is, but Swan said this. You know Swan?
Yeah, I know all these guys. Love Ari. Ari's my favorite. She makes all the toys.
Why is Ari's everyone's? Hold on. Give me a second.
Oh, thank you.
I'm everyone's favorite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's Ari.
Can I say hi?
Hi, how are you?
Sure you can.
I'm doing good, Ari. I'm a big fan. I'm kind of nervous. I'm so sorry.
For Ari?
I'm a big fan of all you guys. Hey, Ari, if I had any suggestions, I think that you should carry on duct tape and nails if you break the toys so you can put them back together.
W. Honestly, it's
I hear
super
like
easy.
drills like Caterpillar.
Oh yeah, well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
super easy
I cut you
because
off.
all I gotta do is talk because they're scared of feminine voices. So it's easy for me.
I want to join the
Thank
book
you,
club,
though.
but I'm not old enough. I'm sorry.
You got what? One more year, right?
One more year. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations. Well, here, ask me. But while you have me up here, what type of book are you looking for? And I'll give you a personal recommendation.
Okay, so I like history, right? I've been working on, the 761st Battalion, World War II stuff, but I specifically like, you're going into communism, socialism, and Santana, he suggested me what the actual F is in the Constitution. So I was looking up to that stuff, and I remember I got paid today, so I'm going to start buying that stuff. I actually want to put the work in, a lot about the patriarchy and stuff. It kind of bothers me. I'm going to be honest. When I was, I still try to, I don't use the D word and stuff. Like I'm trying to monitor myself, and a lot of stuff I did not know before being in the community is harmful. And I'm going to say that I did not know that stuff. And I don't like saying, I'm young and foolish and I'm going to mess up. I don't want to use that. I think it's very overused excuse. And it's
Soul Survivor, you got to be cool. Don't let her flutter you like this. Hold on, slow down.
Listen. Listen, my mom does something like this. She does DEIA. Is that accessibility? She does that stuff too. That's her job.
So based off what Ari just said, what would you like to focus on? Because you said a couple of things. You said the patriarchy. You said communism and socialism. You talked about history. What's something that you want to focus on at this moment?
Hold on. I got a book for all of that, actually.
Nerd.
Really?
Yes, that covers patriarchy, communism, and the history. Especially, I heard you talk about World War II, correct?
Yes.
All right. Why women have better sex under socialism. Literally talks about all that.
I think you mentioned this before.
Yeah, she has.
I have. I've been trying to get Santana to read it.
It's coming up. Like I got a million. Yeah, I have to read that.
So try that one. I think you're going to enjoy it in terms of the historical analysis, but it does a deep dive, especially, I don't know if you're listening to the live today, where I call it a throat punch. I throat punch someone with how capitalism harms women overwhelmingly in terms of the culture of sexual violence. A lot of my arguments actually came from that book. So if you're ever interested in my arguments around that, I pulled it from that book.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. Just what's the title one more time? I'm going to try and look it up real quick.
Why Women Have Better Sex Under Socialism, and Ash Yes by Christine Godsey.
I see it. Okay, I'm going to start this and I'm going to check it out tonight.
All right.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Well, Soul Survivor, thank you
awesome.
for coming up. I appreciate you. I'm going to drop you down, okay?
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right. I don't like that, Ari. I don't like how people get more excited about you than me. I don't like that. I don't think we're going to keep doing none of that. I'm gonna stop letting people up here.
Oh, not the victim card.
I'm
No.
always the victim. Me. I'm just a baby.
You just a baby.
I'm just a baby. What's going on, Ari?
I came for my 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
All right. One, just because I've been seeing it a lot in Santana's chat and my chat. But two, I also heard people are talking a lot about disabilities, also Disability Pride Month. So there's two things I just want to talk about real quick. One, we are responsible for the communities that we hold privilege in. Yeah, period, point blank. So a lot of times I've been seeing when someone comes up of a certain community, and those of that community, of that privileged community member saying, oh, that's not mine. Yes, that's yours. That is yours. White people, you see a white person, you get secondhand embarrassment, don't care, that's yours. That's your responsibility. Just like I get secondhand embarrassment by watching Joel Patrick. Okay, that's embarrassing.
You almost made me curse. You almost made me curse.
See?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's embarrassing, but we own that as Black people. Joe Patrick is our responsibility. Okay? Even for the cringiest of people, the cringiest of arguments, we have to own up and take responsibility for the people within our groups and the harms that they perpetuate. Cis people, we are responsible for TERFs. Sorry, not sorry about it. And y'all know how much I hate TERFs. I will curse a TERF out in a heartbeat, but they my responsibility. So that's why I got to rein them in. They are not trans people's responsibility. TERFs are our responsibility, and we need to handle that. Okay? So I really want I want to stop seeing in the chat, oh, that's not mine. I don't claim them. That's yours. You need to claim that and come handle that. That's what you need to do. Okay? Period, point blank. Secondly, I want to talk about ableism, and not ableism externally, but internally, because that was one of the hardest battles I had to fight. Right? When I first got diagnosed with autism, it was one of the most relieving experiences outside of cutting all my hair off because I got a pixie cut. That was also really relieving, but that goes into how Black people's hair gets policed. But when I got diagnosed with autism, I finally felt seen. I felt like I was not losing my mind. I got diagnosed with everything, anxiety, depression before, and it never fit right. I felt like I was losing my mind at work. I could not focus. I was not sleeping. And then I finally went and got diagnosed with autism, and everything made sense. But then everything afterwards still hurt because I was faced with now this challenge of unmasking. And part of unmasking meant I had to address my internalized ableism. A lot of us have internalized ableism, and we do it onto ourselves. We saw this the other day when Santana had a person on his live who kept saying, my P autism brain. That is self-hate. That is internalized ableism. And we talk about ourselves in really gross ways to diminish our disabilities instead of accepting them for what they are and accepting that they are a part of us, right? So those are things that we had to unpack, and I even had to go through that. And it took me a year till I hit that precipice of unmasking and going through the challenging of unmasking, because unmasking is not easy. It may cause you to lose friends. It may cause you to lose family members because people cannot handle your unmasked self. Right? But masking leads to depression. So you're left with that choice, and that choice is up to you. And at the end of my choice, I had to face my therapist. And because I was tired of being shunned in certain ways. Right? And I told my therapist, I wish I could go back. I want to go back to masking. And she looked at me honestly and she said, okay, you have that choice. That choice is up to you. But you know what your options are. Go back to masking and you end up back in your depression state. Or you continue on that path and you continue unpacking. Right? The decision I made for myself is I continued unpacking. And I've been unpacking to this day. And I've learned to love myself and everything that comes with it. And I exist as an autism person. I'm not a person with autism. Autism is me. In my autism. It's a part of me, and you cannot have me without my autism. So I want us to recognize that not unpacking doesn't just go on the external, because a lot of us have been talking about the external and how people use language towards us, but we also need to talk about the internal isms and phobias that we have amongst ourselves. Liberation does not start with the external. It actually starts with the internal. You need to liberate yourself. Like solid jokes about liberate your mind because of FBA, the Black Hebrew Israelites. But I'm being super serious. There's actually a serious component to that. What?
Go ahead. Black Israelites. Don't let me forget that.
I got you. Yeah, because of Black Hebrew Israelites, and he jokes about that, but there's actually a serious component about that. About we do need, like, liberation starts with the self. You need to unpack your own internalized, for women, your internalized misogyny, your internalized ableism for disabled people. For Black people, your internalized anti-Blackness. For all those things, even for your marginalization, you need to unpack those isms and phobias, because you need to start with liberation of the self. period, point blank. And then that's how we liberate others. Put your oxygen mask on. Liberate yourself first from your own white supremacist self-hate. And that's how we do unto others. My timer went off for my own timer went off saying for me to be quiet. Okay, Black Hebrew Israelites, go.
The time is a social construct. Have I ever told you about that?
I know it is.
Yeah.
You haven't told me about it.
Yeah, I realized that. And ever since I realized it was a social construct, I've been living a much happier life. Did you see that video I sent you?
No.
Yo. They got Mexican is Black Israelites.
Oh yeah, well that I knew. They got my friend Jesse calls them a special certain thing. I think he calls them Latino taps. Latin taps. He calls them Latin taps.
Yo, that's the first time I ever saw that. I immediately sent it to everybody. I was like, what is this? What is this?
Oh yeah, I heard about them a year ago. I was like, that's ridiculous. But you know what? Not surprising. Not surprising.
They were purple and gold and everything, got the microphone and yelling. I was like, what is happening? So that's all I had.
All right.
Okay. You got anything else for the people, Ari?
No, book club next weekend, guys. Unteachables, unpack that ableism. I love y'all. Thank you for having me up, Santana. Bye.
Bye. W's in the chat for Darkland for the $1. You're my favorite. W's in the chat for Just Devin. Just Devin, I was gonna get you up here, but you dropped out, and so I didn't get to get you up here. But W's in the chat, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You said I did not have pizza. I did have a really good I always mess up that word. Stromboli from a new pizza place in town. I understand. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Over on Twitch, W's in the chat for LGK for the one cheer bit to say, here's my daily bits. LOL. I'll take your bits. W's in the chat. W's in the chat for all the amazing people that came through this evening and throughout this week. I think this is a really important conversation. I think that we all did a lot of really, really, really good things as far as learning and growing. You know what me and Kay talked about, guys? You know what we talked about? What we talked about, because we've been here, right? We've been here doing this on late nights. But see, the sparring people, they only want to come during the day when we're, tussling with MAGA. So at some point, we're not even going to tell them it's late nights, but we're just going to have late nights in the middle of the day, let them all show up, and then we're going to force them to learn. That's what we're going to do. We're gonna wait for all of them to get in here and then just fill the panel with people and force them to learn instead of letting them listen to like stupid people crash out. That's what we're gonna do. No, I didn't, Edith. They're not paying attention. The ones that only go to sparring, they're not here. You know how the ones that don't go to sparring don't come to late nights? The reason why you know that is then because they end up in sparring up on the panel saying, well, I just feel like anybody can be racist. That's how you know they don't come to late nights. They end up on the panel, well, what's wrong with capitalism? That's how you know they don't come to late nights. So, oh well. I know exactly, Dwayne. We're gonna force them. We're gonna force this education on them. They want to skip out on learning stuff. Ain't no way. They think they're gonna skip out on learning stuff. Ain't no way. All right, guys. No, seriously, we got to get out of here. Oh, does anybody know how to make a t-shirt? Edith, you gonna make a shirt for me? Okay, the friendlies. Yeah, that's who we're gonna get. Edith, I need a t-shirt. Jeff does? Okay. You already listen. I got this sent to me. Hold on. Let me show y'all what I got sent to me. No? You said a no? Okay. All right. This is what I specifically got sent to me, and I need to get a t-shirt made. Cub sale. Where did I put it? Wait, what did I just name it? Guys, I be saving stuff and then I forgot what I save it as. What did I save it as? Is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. I didn't save it as anything. That's the reason. Didn't save it in. I didn't save it. I didn't title it. That was on me. No wonder I couldn't find it. I didn't title it. That one's on me. Oh, hold on. Apparently this has to go on a t-shirt. Apparently this is going on the t-shirt. This is apparently this literally got sent to me. This is apparently going on a t-shirt. Fix what? Oh, you forgot the D. No pause. Hey, for everybody that came up here and got that 2-minute timer, I bet y'all won't complain about 2 minutes no more. Because most of y'all, I saw most of y'all finish before that 2-minute clock was up. Hey, 2 minutes feels like forever now, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Lock in, guys. Lock in. Fucking lock in. Whoa. Lock in, bro. Holy smokes. W's in the chat for Fashid. Hey, Fashid, for the $5 super chat to say happy early 4th of July, Santana. I hope you are doing well. I am. I know there isn't much to celebrate, but what you're doing, what's your thought? To celebrate, but what are your thoughts on Sony no longer making digital copies? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that. I don't know. Debbie's in chat for Dark Glam. Dark Glam, you're awesome. You don't have to. You're good. You're good. Thank you. You're good. Thank you. All right, guys. Physical copies. They're no longer making physical copies? Or you are lying. They're no longer making physical copies? Oh, I'm pissed. I am nettled. I am so freaking nettled. I am so freaking nettled. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Management told me to tell y'all bye. Management said I got to go. She said, tell your friends bye. She said, I got to tell y'all bye. Okay. We got to go. Can't play no more. No, she said we can't play anymore. Oh, well. All right, that's it. This outro, I guess.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams and the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana.
Hey.
Already knew.
Dubby's in the chat for the chat. Guys, it was a good one. I'm really happy that we spent this week doing this topic. We left a lot of meat on the bone. No pause. But we still have a lot to learn. And we're going to continue to move forward. I think we have a lot of opportunity to continue to prove our community, continue to grow our community. But at the very least, we've set the foundation. Right? And that's the important thing. So we're going to keep working together. We're going to figure this thing out together. We're going to make sure that we all grow together. So thank you. Thank you for just being amazing and sharing this week with me, because it's been a really good one. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. I love you guys. And as always, peace.